Welcome back to Heavy Duty, where we bring legends to life and take you deep into the machines that shaped automotive history. Today, we're looking at one of the most iconic muscle cars ever built, the 1970 Pontiac GTO. This car wasn't just part of the muscle car movement. It helped create it. With bold styling, raw V8 power, and a name that still echoes through car culture, the 66 GTO isn't just a car, it's a symbol of an era. From the moment you lay eyes on the 1970 model, you know this car means business. It was the first year the GTO became its own separate model instead of being a package on the lemons. Pontiac gave it a fresh new look with a longer, more sculpted body that brought sleekness and aggression together in one clean design. The front end was dominated by the signature split grille, wide, aggressive, and outlined in chrome. For stacked headlights gave the car a sharp stare, while the bulging hood scoop hinted at the power hiding beneath. The body lines ran clean and low, with just the right amount of chrome trim to add flash without looking overdone. Subtle GTO badging on the fenders and rear told everyone what they were looking at, while the optional rally-eye wheels and redline tires completed the look of a true street fighter. Around back, the tail end featured horizontal tail lights that stretched across the width of the rear, with a brushed metal panel in between. It wasn't flashy for the sake of it, it was aggressive, confident, and cool in a way that only 1960s Detroit muscle could pull off. Step inside, and the interior of the 70 GTO strikes a balance between style and function. Bucket seats up front with optional headrests offered a sporty feel, while the wood grain accented dash gave the cabin an upscale edge. You'll find a 3-spoke steering wheel with the Pontiac Arrowhead badge in the center and a full set of gauges behind it: speedometer, fuel, oil, temperature, and tachometer on certain trims. The center console was clean and well organized, especially with the optional Hurst shifter protruding from it, letting the driver know this wasn't just for cruising, it was for serious driving. The rear seats were surprisingly roomy for a 2-door coupe of the time, and the trunk offered enough space to throw in a couple of bags for a road trip or a day at the drag strip. You could also opt for extras like a reverb stereo system, air conditioning, and even rally gauges. But make no mistake, the GTO's real charm was under the hood, not in its list of creature comforts. And this is where things get serious. The 1966 GTO came standard with a 389 cubic inch V8 engine. It was available in 3 versions: standard with a single 4-barrel carb putting out 335 horsepower, a high-output version with the same carb pushing 360 horsepower, and a top-tier tri-power setup featuring 3 2-barrel carbs and an output of 360 horses as well, but with sharper throttle response and even more torque. Backed by a 3-speed manual, for speed manual, or a 2-speed automatic, the GTO gave drivers plenty of ways to put power to pavement. Performance numbers were impressive for the time. 0 to 60 in about 6.5 seconds and the quarter mile in the low 14s when properly equipped. That was enough to leave most competitors in the dust. But the GTO wasn't just about straight-line speed. Pontiac engineers tuned the suspension for a mix of ride comfort and handling, with stiffer springs and sway bars helping to keep it planted during spirited driving. The result was a car that could cruise, rip through gears, and still handle a curvy road when asked to. Back in 1966, the base price for a GTO coupe started just under $3,000. That made it a great deal for the performance you were getting, and it's part of why the car was such a massive success, with over 96,000 units sold that year alone. Today, depending on condition and originality, the value of a 66 GTO ranges anywhere from $35,000 for a solid driver to over $100,000 for a fully restored tri-power version with matching numbers and rare options. What made the 1966 GTO a legend wasn't just its horsepower or good looks, it was the whole package. It represented freedom, rebellion, and pure driving excitement. It was the kind of car that turned heads at red lights, started conversations at gas stations, and made young drivers feel like kings of the road. It was a car built for people who loved to drive, and it delivered every time you twisted the key. Even now, nearly 60 years later, the 66 GTO holds its place at the top of the muscle car mountain. It's a car that doesn't just belong to history, it continues to inspire builders, collectors, and enthusiasts around the world. It's not just an icon. It's a piece of American steel that still makes hearts race and tires smoke. Thanks for riding with us here on Heavy Duty. If you've ever driven or owned a GTO, or if you're dreaming of building your own someday, drop a comment and let us know. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and stick with us for more stories from the machines that shaped the road. Until next time, keep your hands on the wheel and your foot to the floor.